And the project I'm going to talk to you a little bit about today is called Reforestation. So it's a pretty ambitious project. It's to do with community gardens and urban agriculture. So I might get Janine just to change the next slide and show you a little bit of a quick overall artistic vision of the project. How are you guys doing on the other side?
Good. Yeah, it's great. It's coming up. The image is coming up great, and I don't know if anybody's seen those huge sheds which just look like nothing on the Docklands. So it's quite an amazing image. So yeah. Okay. Great.
I'll sort of take you through it a little bit. Basically, when the project began, which was about 1.5 years ago, it came out from a community consultation process that we did with the City of Melbourne to inspire a lot of wide-gen young people and older to come up with ideas for their city and what they wanted to see in the future. Reforestation was one of those ideas, and we did a lot of research and went through the process of looking at community gardens across the world. And in the end, we came back quite excited, quite ambitious, and had to find a site. So the site that we've chosen at the moment is a site in Docklands. So I'm not sure if everyone's aware of Melbourne, but there's the CBD, and a place of recent developments is called the Docklands. And a lot of buildings, a lot of skyscrapers, a lot of apartments, a lot of closed areas, not much garden space. And currently we've taken on this project on the edge of a shed. So basically it's a massive 100 metre long shed that we have about 5 to 6 metres outside the border for about 50 metres. And we're looking at building the garden to be about 1.5 stories tall with an additional platform, looking also possibly at doing a rooftop garden and also a vertical wall. It's been relatively new. We've basically moved in on January. We've received some funding from the EPA, which was very kind of them to put towards the project. So I'll sort of get you to go through to the next slide and take you through more sort of the bigger side of things, and also, I suppose, how we're aiming to tackle climate change and a lot of those aspects. Basically, Reforestation is a national campaign to inspire urban gardening for sustainability and food security. We're starting off in metropolitan Melbourne, and the idea is not just to build one garden, but to inspire people to build their own gardens, whether it be small, large, on their balconies, in different communities around Australia. So this is meant to be a bit of a flagship garden, something to help behaviour change, which I'm not sure if it's something that might be coming up with your climate change focus, and also partly as well as an educational type sort of thing. Skip to the next one. We're trying to get people to grow fruit and vegetables in their homes and workplaces and schools. And we'll jump to the next one as well. And basically we're also looking at featuring, I suppose, the best of innovation that we can for energy. So not only is it about a garden, but also trying to put wind turbines in, solar panels, and to show people a little bit differently what they can look at in terms of energy innovation as well. It fronts on basically the wider bay as well as the main football ground, so it's a pretty good space to hopefully make a bit of impact, and also get people to think about having garden around them in a space that's really dominated by concrete. Probably the next slide. I'll just jump back over here for a sec. So effectively what we're looking at is I suppose not just perception change, but behaviour change. And what we're finding is there's a lot of older generations that have grown up with gardens that have a lot of amazing skills in the way that they garden, and a lot of young people that probably haven't grown up as much with gardening. And we're using this as an opportunity to try and connect the two. One of the main things that we focus with Future Canvas is not just sustainability from an environmental side, but also social sustainability. Just like sustainability is now an important consideration in businesses when they do their business decisions, we try and also see, when we look at climate change issues, how we can also use that as an opportunity to develop community and also the way that people live together and share. So we're aiming that community gardens obviously bring a lot of people together and fulfil those aims. Jump to the next one. And sorry guys, I'm just doing this really quickly because I think you've only got 5 minutes or so. I'm not sure if you can see those sketches reasonably well on your wall, but there's some cross sections of how the garden will look. And we might jump to the next one as well. And that's an architectural image. That's basically 3D rendered. If you're interested, you can actually jump on our website and actually walk around in a 3D world of the shed. It's not completely developed yet, but it's a bit of an aim of helping people sort of see the space in a different way. And we might jump to the next one. So one of the main things that really inspired me personally, because I never was much of a gardener when I was younger, was a documentary I saw on how Cuba survived the oil crisis and then the research that happened from that. I won't go too much into it because we haven't got much time, but basically Cuba was hit with an oil crisis where they no longer had oil, and basically overnight and over the next few weeks and months and years, they really had to develop I suppose local food production. So they really just transformed every space that wasn't being used, and from rooftop gardens to a lot of other aspects as well. So it's being now used as a place by a lot of researchers to go to be inspired and come back with ideas of how people got through this. So one of the aspects of climate change obviously is that food will be more scarce as we go on, transportation will be more difficult, so developing local forms of production is quite an important aim. If you jump to the next slide, just a few pictures of green roofs in case anyone hasn't really seen them before. There's a few walls there as well. And we might jump to the next one as well. So I'm not too sure if you guys have had a bit of a chat about the different impacts of climate change, but as many of you would know, there's obviously the urban heat island effect, increased stormwater runoff, and impacts on biodiversity. And obviously by having gardens in place, especially in areas where it's quite built up and quite a lot of concrete, reduces that heat island effect and also starts to look at how you purify your water and stuff like that. And jumping to the next one, we've already touched on food security. And also jumping to the next one, the aspects of mental health. So there's a lot of research here that I won't jump into, but basically there's a strong body of research that suggests that people being in touch with nature has very strong benefits to their mental health. And also from my focus, if we jump to the next slide, I've often been very much into creativity and innovation. That's where a lot of my research has been and what I really find passionate. And there's an aspect of the creative and innovative process that is an incubation where ideas come in the shower and aspects like that. And having spaces like that are quite important for societies to come up with lots of ideas, as well as these spaces bringing communities together so that there's idea generations and people networking, a bit like your conference tonight. Might go to the last one, which is more of a bit of a conclusion. And just in my 5 minutes, I suppose I'll field a few questions and see what people are interested in me maybe giving a bit more information about.
Great, thanks Stephen. Any questions? And I just want to say I do like that one about the Cuba, and I actually have a copy of the DVD. I know I've been thinking of holding an event showing that and discussing it, and I'm getting lots of nods. So yeah, it's a very interesting case study.